After graduating from my bachelor's in theology at the University of Marmara, I was sort of weighing out my options as to what I want to study and where. Studying at Cambridge Muslim College, that 1 year was probably more beneficial to me than my previous years of studying. I'm very grateful for that because it gave me an outlook, it gave me the tools to be able to navigate myself as a Muslim in the contemporary world. I returned to Australia 3 years ago. Since then it's been very busy. As soon as I returned, I was offered a job at an Islamic school. I am the head of the Islamic Education department, so I'm overseeing the Quranic and Islamic education. At the same time, I'm involved in community youth work. I'm the president of ICMG Youth Australia, which is a youth organisation that is dedicated to providing community service to mainly the younger audience. Basically, part of what I do entails that I'm always engaging with fellow Muslims and non-Muslims from the community, and at the same time I'm also involved in delivering public lectures and sermons and khutbahs. So I am active at a few mosques throughout Melbourne, trying to provide classes, delivering khutbahs, and just trying to do what I can. In whatever class you're in, there's always an emphasis on the universal quality of mercy, and especially when you're engaging with the person across you, regardless of what their religion, ideology, background is. If I'm trying to provide a solution to someone's problems, always remembering that my answer should be based on mercy, and that always treating people with mercy as well. I learned that at the Cambridge Muslim College. One of the other things that I'm involved in is the Medina Group, which is a unique business initiative. When you look at the spread of Islam historically to places like Indonesia, North Africa, some parts of the subcontinent, Islam came there through trade, through merchants, through business. How come we're not having the same impact? What is different between then and now? And we realize that there's been a sort of distance from the Islamic principles and the values that historically our merchants had inherited and practiced. So we thought, why don't we bring businessmen, Muslims, who are practicing conscious Muslims, together under the one umbrella and provide a service not only for the Muslim community, but for the wider community as well, because through this new initiative we want to redefine people's perception of the Muslim businessman. One thing I gained from the Cambridge Muslim College itself is a more holistic approach to what Islam is, a more holistic approach to what serving the community implies, a more holistic approach to what it means to be a religious leader. And not only does the Cambridge Muslim College provide the theoretical aspect of that, but it also provides you with the practical training required for you to engage in those fields. So for example, not only were we informed of how to engage in chaplaincy, but we also had training at the Addenbrooke Hospital where we spoke with patients, we engaged with them. Interfaith dialogue was a very big thing for me as well, specifically visiting the city, the Vatican, speaking to priests, the popes, the nuns there, and this I found to be very effective, especially returning to Australia and being involved in the community. I wasn't just speaking about certain concepts or ideas, I was trying to show people how the actuality of that is. You know how sometimes there are feelings that you can't describe, they need to be experienced? That's what I see in the Cambridge Muslim College. And I think just by looking at the impact that the alumni has had on the community, one can realise what the vision of this college is, because it's being tested. It's not just saying that this is what we provide, but it's also able to say, and this is what our graduates have done here. Let me find a book here that shook me. A lot of my experience at the Cambridge Muslim College was actually in this library. This library means a lot to me because if you look at the themes and the topics, the genres, you can really see that it's geared to prepare the traditional polymaths that we once had, who are very versatile in their breadth of knowledge. And just looking at the topics, astronomy, art, political history, contemporary global issues, Islam and gender, interfaith relations, economics. It's not something you really come across in a traditional seminary. If you're not equipped with the knowledge that this library, and which is complemented by the course curriculum, you're not really able to have a say in contemporary discussions, and you shouldn't as well, because a lot of what's being said about Islam is related to these issues. Yeah, so for our science module, this book actually really helped me. We had to write an essay in regards to the changing perception of man through the development of science. It was interesting and intellectually stimulating for me as well, because as Muslims we also have had immense monumental contributions to science. So this gave me good foundational information on science and how epistemologically science has developed and the methods that it incorporates. And at the same time, it allowed me to understand maybe how Islam can contribute to this. What can a Muslim worldview of science be like? We're not going to become scholars in all these fields, but at least we have that foundational information that allows us to understand, not respond, but understand to what's being said, what is being targeted, where should we be, what is our vision.
Cambridge Muslim College, training the next generation of Muslim thinkers.